We have Professor Rohit Manchanda, who will speak to us on a small topic. Now, he also represents the changing character of the faculty and accomplished faculty today, who is in IIT, and the students are beneficiaries of such kind of faculties. He is a graduate and PhD from University of Oxford. He is an authority in neuroscience. In fact, that is how we started interacting some 2 years ago, but then it broke off later because of something else. He is a multi-bag personality. He is an author of an award-winning novel, In the Light of the Black Sun, and he is also author of a recently published, that is 2 years ago published book, Monastery, Sanctuary and Laboratory, 50 years of IIT Bombay. So he is the man who is going to trace the historical evolution of IIT and the changing aspirations. So Rohit Manchanda.
What I will be doing here in my presentation is to trace what I call over here the zeitgeist, what one might call the mood of the institution as it has progressed from the late 50s to now. And this is going to be an entirely unquantitative talk. There are going to be no graphs, no tables, and no numbers. Just by interpretation of how the institute, if you were to take the institute as a personality, how the mood of this person, this entity has been changing over the years. And of course, the impression that I have comes from the research that was done towards writing the book on the history of the institute. What leads to this confidence? Well, there is support from the very top. We all know that Nehru was a great champion of the IIT idea. Although, if you dip into history a little bit, you find that it wasn't actually Nehru's brainchild, Pandit Nehru's brainchild. It actually was the product of the thinking of the Raj before independence, the British administration at the time that led to the formation of the IITs. But Nehru championed the idea as vigorously as was possible for him. And then there was for IIT Bombay the Soviet participation that helped launch the institute, and without which it would have been difficult to do things on the scale that they were done. And of course, the USSR at that time was regarded to be and was a technological giant of the time. So it was a matter of pride to be linked up with such a nation. However, internally, there were a few new features in the kind of education that was being imparted over here. One of the things was that IITs had autonomy, and that was a very new thing on the academic landscape. Universities had never enjoyed the kind of autonomy that the IITs were given. Was given with a purpose, of course, and the IITs have exploited it to the hilt. There was also the fact that the curricula were very novel for engineering and technical institutes. All of you would have, perhaps to your resentment at some time or the other, being made to sit through humanities and social sciences lectures and basic science lectures and so on. But that was part of the IIT academic philosophy, to train engineers that were well-rounded rather than just focused on their own engineering discipline. The slight worry during this decade was research and development. It just wasn't taking off. Brigadier Bose had certainly ideas on this. He had aspirations for the institute, but money was a big problem. And faculty were another limitation, in the sense that IIT had not recruited faculty who were qualified to do research. Very many of the faculty were fresh graduates or master's degree holders and so on, and hadn't really trained in research. And IIT Bombay led a practically anonymous existence through this first decade, as far as the media is concerned, for example. Now, in the early 70s, this sort of quiet assurance continued. This was a time when Professor Kelkar was director, but during his phase, there was a huge amount of academic consolidation that happened. The new credit system and so on came into being during his time. But research and development was still not taking off as well as it was hoped to. Next, please. I'll end on that note, except to say that in thinking about how IIT Bombay can best harness this energy, exploit it, I think alumni now have a big role to play. And this is because you can bring experience back over here and let students know let us know, let the system know in what direction one needs to move, what are the optimal directions that could be taken in order to do this. Thank you very much for your attention.
He is approximately the same age as you are, graduated in 68, joined much later in 76 to IIT, and at that particular time we were getting almost old. His main area is mechanisms. He has been an innovator. He has developed the robotics center at IIT right from scratch, and he and one of his other colleagues, Isaac, they were instrumental in developing it. Lots of student activities had been started with the by Amarnath. Very popular right from the very beginning. Started the festival known as Yantriki. It was a competition in robotics, and a lot of different things were made. You had seen some of them in the show which was there. He is now, of course, as you can see, pretty old. Will be joining our band shortly. But having been the innovator as he is rightly heading the sign, and he'll be talking about sign. Over to Professor Amarnath.
It should not be mentioned. You have a comfort break. What do you mean? Are you so old? Come on, I'm 2 years younger to you. Right now my age is 36. Take it or leave it. Here is the first what students did. You can see beautiful looking thing. For me it's a very lovely thing. They came, and the second year students, my colleagues told me they can't do anything. I said, forget it. They came and I told them, build a machine which will go around the lab avoiding people and furniture. They asked me, what are we supposed to do? Build a machine which will go around the lab avoiding people and furniture. They again asked me, what are we supposed to do? The walking machine she built. She used the PCB as the chassis of the walking machine. And just built it. You push them, they'll do it. Okay, I knew. Now they are hooked. Yeah, then I started this. What happened was, when I had those students coming in and building, I used to advertise posters. In those days, there was nothing like PowerPoint, nothing. So big posters I used to make and hang it all over the place. I would get 500 applications to work. During summer, I was paying them. Now, this is one of the fastest mouse which solves a base by itself. You just build an email, leave the mouse in and see. It's the fastest perhaps, one of the fastest in the world. You can hear the applause. It just balances itself on 2 bits. It's a very short clip. Also in the static area we have got this. GS numerics from the aeronautics department, faculty and the PhD scholars and students. And you can see the simulation software they have built. Very advanced one. They have at their clients well-known names like Boeing, Airbus, and I say once imbibe, the spirit will prevail. Thank you.